Nestled in the heart of Glens Falls, New York, stands at 348 Glen Street, a house with over 160 years of history, the Chapman Museum. Its story begins long before it became a museum. In the 1830s, the property was being farmed by Joshua B. Levins. After his departure, it passed through several hands: Richards, Sewell, and eventually Ephraim Hunn. Then in 1861, Zophar Isaac DeLong had purchased the frame house on Glen Street for $1,800 and moved his family there from the town of Day. Zophar was a hardware merchant and operated DeLong Hardware on Glen Street with his friend Daniel Peck. In 1864, however, a citywide fire destroyed more than 100 buildings in the downtown sector of Glens Falls. DeLong Hardware was also destroyed in this great fire, but the DeLong Hardware business allowed him access to materials to assist in the rebuilding of the city. Using his newfound wealth from 1867 to 1869, Zophar rebuilt his family home with the finest of materials. He styled the home in Second Empire architecture, featuring a convex mansard roof with arched hooded molding over the dormers. This was a popular Victorian period style, influenced by the grand architecture during France's Second Empire under Napoleon III. Mindful of the recent fire, he builds the house with brick inside and out, and even the siding of the original farmhouse. The large home contained 4 public rooms, probably 6 bedrooms, along with an indoor kitchen and pantry. Zophar continued to live in the home with his wife Catherine and their 8 children until one by one the children married and left the home. In 1901, Zophar passed away at the age of 85. His son John DeLong purchased the home from the estate and remodeled it to reflect his desire for modern taste and convenience. John added bathrooms, central heating, new windows, and just 2 years later in 1903, electricity. In 1923, John DeLong's daughter, Mabel, married prominent local businessman Frederick B. Chapman in 1923, and the two moved into the home. Mabel died in 1941 and left the house to Frederick. He later married Juliet Goodman Allen, and the home was left to her at his passing. In 1965, Juliet donated the house to the local historical society. It was in memory of her late husband, and it marked the beginning of a new chapter of the DeLong home being used to tell the story of local history. With a newfound home, on October 29, 1965, the provisional charter for the Glens Falls Historical Association was signed. The donation of the house was a timely event for the local history that started meeting as early as 1935. A group called the Local History Society first meets in 1935 to reminisce and share stories about life in Glens Falls, led by Dr. Fred Streeter and his sister Anna Haviland. By 1937, they became the Glens Falls Club. They met, researched, and even talked about starting a museum. But wartime and dwindling interest led to the group disbanding from 1941. In December 1963, more than 75 people attended a public meeting to discuss reactivating the Historical Society and exploring the establishment of a museum to safeguard the increasing collection of historical artifacts in their care. In 1978, the Chapman Museum acquired an historically significant collection of works by Seneca Ray Stoddard. Comprising more than 4,000 photographs, paintings, maps, publications, and personal belongings of the renowned photographer, artist, and cartographer, the collection is one of the largest and most comprehensive of its kind. This landmark acquisition elevated the Chapman Museum to national prominence. It was made possible through a dedicated fundraising campaign led by then-director Joseph Cutchell King, despite some opposition from the Board of Trustees. Today, the Stoddard collection remains a cornerstone of the museum's holdings, an invaluable resource for research, exhibitions, and historical reference. In 1980, the organization expanded its charter to include Queensbury and was officially renamed the Glens Falls Queensbury Historical Association. In 1983, tragedy struck next door when a fire at the Glenrose Lodge claimed 3 lives and damaged nearby buildings. Although the Chapman Museum sustained only minor damage, the event opened the door to a major opportunity. The museum acquired the adjacent lot, which included an historic carriage house. Soon after, the board launched an ambitious fundraising campaign to move the carriage house closer to the main building and expand the museum's footprint. By 1987, the carriage house reopened as a new gallery space, welcomed visitors with an exhibition on local baseball legends. In 2008, the association completed a $200,000 multi-year project to restore the exterior of the National Register listed historic house. The museum has enjoyed strong community support over the decades, enabling it to add a gallery, climate-controlled collection storage space, a research room, multi-purpose classroom, and a museum shop. The museum is home to archival materials and historical artifacts that document the history of the region, particularly the nationally significant Seneca Ray Stoddard collection of late 19th century photographs. Each artifact, program, and event serve as a testament to the museum's commitment to preserve and interpret the history of our region, ensuring it remains protected, relevant, and remembered as the Chapman Museum embarks on its next 60 years in the same spirit that shaped its first.